You're listening to episode 40 of Leaders on Purpose podcast.
Hi there. Welcome to Leaders on Purpose podcast. This is your host, Manal. I am a multi-passionate mom of twins and a corporate executive in Casablanca, Morocco, living and sharing my personal development journey. In this podcast, we're looking to develop the skills, habits, and mindset to reveal our full potential for a greater purpose. I'll be inviting inspiring people, beautiful souls, Moroccans, Canadians, Americans, Nigerians, and more. People from all backgrounds and different nationalities to inspire us to live our true purpose and create great impact. So join me every other Sunday and let's make this happen.
Hey everyone, Happy New Year. Welcome back to Leaders on Purpose podcast in 2024. This is Manal speaking. I am so glad that this first episode of the year is a solo episode because it gives me the opportunity to start off the year by talking to you guys directly. It gives me the opportunity to share what's in my heart, to articulate my thoughts, and hopefully it helps you do that on your side as well. It is the time of the year where I like to get a little reflective. As a society, we tend to chase the next thing as soon as we are done with another. And studies have shown that reflecting on how you've overcome past challenges will help you better process negative experiences in the future. And also, I really think there's a lot of benefit in documenting one's journey. It gives you perspective. You can look back and see how much you've grown, the challenges you've overcome, and the progress you've made. I think it also helps build a sense of self-compassion, which is very much needed, because we tend to be a little critical and harsh on ourselves, don't we? And I like to think that in a few years, I'd go back to these episodes, or my kids would listen to these episodes in the future and be like, okay, she was going through that, or I too resonate with that life lesson right now. Anyway, my point is, I believe that retrospection and reflection are powerful tools, and if we take the time to share them, then we can also empower other people around us, which is even more powerful. So last year I did a similar episode, which I know you all enjoyed. It got great reviews. Go check episode 23, 12 life lessons learned from the past 12 months. It was an episode to mark the first podcast anniversary, actually. Now I can believe that we're already going into our third year together. So let's make it our habit to reflect on these life lessons each year and share them around. Go grab a pen and a notebook, write down anything that resonates with you, and add in your own life lessons learned. But before I dive in, I just want to take a moment to thank you all for the incredible support, the incredible love, the incredible energy you have brought to Leaders on Purpose podcast. Thank you for joining me every other Sunday. I absolutely love these moments we spend together. Whether you're washing your dishes, walking your dog, driving to work, or taking your daily walk, I promise you that this time you invest with me is never wasted. It is entirely invested in you, in your me time, your personal growth, your self-development. And if no one has told you, I am proud of you. I know for sure that the reason why you're listening to me, it's because deep inside, you believe there's something more for you out there. Another level of joy, another level of fulfillment, another level of success. Know that I'm rooting for you, always, and I'm forever in your corner. I am committed this year, deeper than ever, to continue on this journey together and help you move forward toward the best version of yourself. Okay, I can't wait to dive in. So if you're ready, I'm ready. Let's go. Now, the first life lesson I wanted to share with you is be really conscious about the energy givers and the energy drainers around you. This is really important because we only have so much energy each day. When we wake up in the morning, we have a certain amount of energy, and throughout the day, we use that energy. We give it to people and things around us, and by the end of the day, that energy gets less and less and less till there's almost nothing left. Then you feel tired and you go to sleep to recharge again, right? So one of the things we must be aware of is that some people fill you with energy and some people drain you of energy. The people who drain you of energy, you can see them as energy vampires. And there are a lot of them. Sometimes these people are colleagues or friends. They are relatives, sometimes even close family members. And one important thing to do is to consciously identify the people who suck your energy and leave you completely drained. Now, one of the ways to identify these people is when you spend time with them or you encounter them somewhere, as soon as you walk away, just ask yourself, do you feel uplifted or do you feel drained? Do you feel good about yourself or do you get that awkward feeling in your body? And that is why it is so important to be conscious, because when you are present, when you are aware, you can energetically tell whether you connect with someone or whether you don't. How many times have you met someone and thought to yourself, I really like this person. I feel at ease. This person makes me feel good about myself. I feel really supported and uplifted. And how many times have you met someone again and again, and each time you feel the energy in your body instantly shift? No judgment, no criticism, but you can just tell that both energies don't align. You just don't see eye to eye. So creating boundaries around these people is really key because it's a way to take care of yourself. So if you're at work, don't sit next to that person. Or, focus on working on yourself so you don't have to be around them that much. Because I know we can't always eliminate energy drainers from our life. I want more of those energy givers in my life. Like, who do I hang out with and they make me feel better after I leave them? Who makes me feel happier and whole, motivated and energized? So bottom line, if you notice that after you leave someone, you're drained, or you're just like, I really don't feel great. Your mind keeps spinning after what they said and how they behave, then it's okay to start phasing out people and loving them from afar. Moving on to the second life lesson I wanted to share with you. We all see the world through a story. In fact, if you describe to someone the structure through which you see the world, what you're actually doing is telling them a story. And that story will shape the reality of our perceptions, core beliefs, actions, and the way you interact with the world around you. And it's been that way since the beginning of humanity. From cave paintings, as early humans used to communicate, to pass on their stories and messages from generation to generation, to our time today. Think about it this way. When you go see a movie, it grips you emotionally. And the reason why that happens, it's because the filmmaker, the writers, provide you with some insight into the goals of the characters. And when you can adopt someone else's goals, you can align your emotions with someone else's emotions. And that means that you can feel what they feel. And that means that you can understand them. So not only do we have to see the world through a story, but the story that we see the world through determines how we respond to things emotionally. Now, once we understand that it is inevitable for us all to see the world through a story, The question that immediately arises is, well, what story should you or do you see the world through? And that is the subject of great debate. In fact, the whole chaos that we are living in at the moment is actually a debate between the promoters of two different stories. And I'm saying this because I cannot wrap up 2023 without recognizing that this year has been incredibly polarizing in our world. Many see it as one of the lowest points in the history of humanity. It's been incredibly hard for many of us, and it still is. And it's hard to see how each party is absolutely convinced by their own story, making it so hard to see the end of any of it. So it made me think a lot. If the world is unfolding to us in a manner that we don't feel acceptable, if we're anxious and upset, if we're depressed and hurt, if we feel hopeless, one possibility is that we're not looking at the world in a particularly productive story. Maybe there is another way of looking into all this. In the middle of this chaos, or seemingly chaos, I believe there is a larger order. I believe there is a divine order, actually. And that's the story I choose to believe in. Sometimes things happen for a greater purpose that is difficult for us to grasp at the moment. It's the belief that this moment does not have the final say on my life or the life of my community. And so it's not being in denial. You take in the truth. You see what is. But you know that this does not mean this is all that can ever be. Trauma affects us, but it does not define us. My heart feels the weight, but there is still light available for me. So that's what I wanted to share here. It's a reminder that your light is so much needed, so much more in times of darkness. And the greatest challenge of being alive is to witness the injustice of the world and not allow it to consume our light. And this is when I hear you say to me, okay, Manal, I appreciate your intention, but what do I do when the world around me feels like falling apart? Well, let's move on to number 3. When the trauma is ongoing, one of the ways that is accessible to us at all times is our spiritual practices. Whether for you that's meditation, whether it's prayer, whether it's gathering with people from similar faith, whether it's reading a sacred text, and for some people that might be about connecting with nature. Something that reminds us of being connected to that which is greater than we are. And so spiritual practices in the midst of conflicts or violence have been a refuge for many people and also a source of hope that things can get better. As I did my research for this episode with the intention to hopefully help out someone who needs to hear this, I came across what we call narrative therapy in psychology. That's the telling of our stories. So even in the midst of horror, of conflict, of community violence, when we can come together with each other and tell our truths and recognize that we have been judged or rejected for talking about what we have been through and how it has affected us, we heal in relationship with each other. So seek out people with whom you can tell your truth, and they will honor you for it. Notice how I'm not talking here about what you need to do to stand up for your cause. That is personal and yours to figure out. I do think it is important to stand for what matters, to speak your truth, and to act in a way that represents compassion and love for everyone. Here, I'm more referring to how to care for yourself and your inner state in the midst of chaos, how to keep yourself sane in the midst of it all. And also, I wanted to add something. A big piece is to release our self-judgment. Often we think, I'm the only one that's overwhelmed, or I'm the only one that is stressed out, or I'm the only one who either can't stop crying or cannot access my tears. We have thoughts like, how can I be happy if there is so much suffering in the world? How can I celebrate my child if someone else's children are no longer there to be celebrated? The first thing to get in our heads is, yes, everyone is feeling overwhelmed. We just show it in different ways. And so we need to create for ourselves a soft place to land. Okay, moving on to number 4 now. You cannot please everyone, no matter how good your intentions are. And this was a big one for me. Trust that the people who really know you, love you, and invest deeply in those relationships to protect yourself. I realized this the hard way, that no matter how good your intention is, no matter how much you care, no matter how you actually contributed and what difference you made, there will always be people who will try to tear you down. There will always be people who criticize you, who will forge wrong narratives about you, and I'll try to take as much as I can as feedback. I try to see how I can grow from that, how I can learn from that. And at the same time, the people who know me deeply, the people who know me truly, I allow myself to go and check in with them. Because truthfully, as someone who values harmony so much, as someone who is keen to see the best in everyone, I sometimes tend to internalize and take what's been said personally. So what I do, I would go to the people I trust, my closest friends, my family, and check in with them. I would be like, hey, this is really bugging me right now. What do you think? And some of them who really care would be like, no, actually, that is not true at all. But here's why that person may have said that. They are working on their own struggles, or you are projecting to them insecurities they are not ready to handle right now. Or in other situations, they could be like, well, actually, Manal, you could have handled this in a better way. But we know your heart, and it is not that big of a deal. And having these conversations is so beautiful, and it is so important to continually deepen our closest relationships, to allow ourselves to be vulnerable. Because the truth is, if we only have shallow relationships, then every criticism will cut us deep. But when we have deep, strong relationships, then we're able to gain perspective and really sort what is meaningful to keep as feedback and what really isn't at all. And so, yeah, if someone has ill will against me, I'll try, at least internally, to practice love and compassion towards them while also distancing myself from that energy. All right, number 5 now. Keep purifying your intention. It's all you have. Our intentions are the compass guiding our journey. You cannot avoid mistakes. It's part of the journey. Mistakes are part of life. They shape us. But setting pure intentions is within our control. They influence how we navigate this journey of ours. So one thing I constantly pray for is purifying my intention and making sure I'm staying aligned with my purpose. Because if you protect your purpose, then your purpose protects you. So keep purifying your intention. It's all you have. Number 6, schedule in your big dreams and keep investing in your growth. I love this one so much, and I have been confirming its importance and putting it in practice for the past 3 years. That thing that keeps coming back to your mind again and again, go for it. Just go for it. Pick up your phone, set a date, pay a deposit, do what you gotta do, and make it happen. There's a reason why you can't let go of it. Plan experiences, plan travel trips. Those are the life memories. Make more of them in 2024. I have taken massive action for the upcoming year. A dream event I've always wanted to attend. I have been thinking about it for the longest time. I decided I will no longer push that thought away and figure it out. I will definitely share more about that with you here. I have also committed to a new professional training to be a certified board member. I make sure I have at least one training or certification per year to keep on learning and growing. So focus on making memories in 2024, capture them, keep them in your heart, and make sure you come back to Leaders on Purpose podcast and share them with me. Number 7, be patient when you're becoming someone you haven't been before. This one is so important also because, gosh, do we want to speed things up, don't we? Always. Just imagine if we gave ourselves permission to dream really, really big right now, and we give ourselves the grace of 1 year. There is so much that can happen in 1 year. So if right now you're making a big change in your life, whether you're growing your family or launching a business or moving to another job, give yourself a year. Because your whole life can change in a year. And when you get serious about what you want and you get intentional about it by putting in place systems that will support that change, you will change. I mean it. Just put in the work and be patient with yourself. I keep reminding myself that again and again. Number 8, life's 3 choices: accept the situation, change it, or leave it. All else is madness. This one is another lesson I learned the hard way. One of my character traits is perseverance. And this quality has served me so well on so many occasions. However, like all traits, it can have its fair share of side effects. Perseverance often led me to keep pushing through situations, even when they seemed to stretch on longer than they should have. I'd be the positive one, hoping for change, even when it became clear that the situation was unchangeable. So, understanding life's 3 choices, accepting the situation, striving to change it, or opting to leave it, was clearly a life lesson for me. I came to realize that persisting in a circumstance that could not be changed was not a sign of strength, but rather a path towards madness. It encouraged me to discern when to apply my perseverance and when to recognize the need for acceptance or departure. This understanding has been pivotal in navigating life's challenges and fostering balance between resilience and wisdom. So there you go. 3 solutions to every problem. If you can't accept it, change it. If you can't change it, leave it. Okay, number 9 now. What you feed your mind will grow in your soul. If you don't watch what you let into your mind, negative thoughts from yourself or from others, then you are allowing weeds to grow and to spread. No matter how smart you are, no matter how savvy you are, how inspired you are, if you do not stand guard at the door of your mind, then you are giving the tacit approval to disempowering thoughts. So the best way to feed your mind is to proactively feed it. Stop scrolling mindlessly on your Instagram. Stop following accounts that make you feel bad. Tune in daily to Leaders on Purpose podcast, of course, or any other podcast as you're commuting to work. Commit to reading even 10 minutes a day. And eventually, all these small changes will add up in one very big way. You will become more in control of your thoughts. You will become more in command of your environment. And you will be more conscious of the ways that you can elevate your life and find new opportunities for improvement. Number 10, if you do not prioritize your own emotional, spiritual, and physical health, you'll have nothing to share with others. I cannot stress that enough. Self-care is not selfish. It is so important to understand this deeply. If you neglect your own emotional, spiritual, and physical well-being, you'll eventually find yourself running on empty. It's like trying to pour from an empty cup. There's nothing left to give. So prioritizing self-care isn't about being selfish. It's about recognizing your own value and understanding that by taking care of yourself, you're better equipped to be there for others. It's a fundamental act of kindness to yourself that ripples outward, allowing you to share more authentically and genuinely with those around you. So remember, it's not just about giving, it's about maintaining a balance where you're nourishing yourself so that you can be present and supportive for others too. Number 11, setting an intention for the year is really, really powerful. I've already shared this before. I'm not a big fan of resolutions. I think resolutions create frustration. Studies have shown that 80% of people are not practicing their New Year resolutions by the end of January. That is crazy, 80%. So instead of resolutions, I like to set intentions. Intentions give you direction without narrowing the possibilities. And I found it to be really, really powerful. And that's why I want to share it with you again this year. Because it gives you clarity on where you want to go. You need to be intentional about it, of course. Yet it's not too specific to box you in anyway. Intentions allow flexibility while still guiding your actions and mindset towards your desired outcomes. They serve as a guiding light without the pressure or disappointment often associated with rigid resolutions. Go listen to episode 18 if you haven't already, The Power of Intention. I unpack this topic a little bit more. Last year, my intention was new beginnings, and I witnessed new beginnings in my life in so many ways. This year, I'm going to share with you what my intention is, because I believe that once you put it out there, the universe conspires to help you. My intention for the upcoming year is expansion. Expanding my growth, expanding my business, expanding my impact on others, and expanding my horizons in every possible aspect of life. I want to broaden my perspectives, delve into new opportunities, and nurture the expansion of my skills and knowledge. This year is about stretching my boundaries, embracing challenges, and exploring new territories to foster personal and professional growth. So that is it. Expansion. I'd love to hear what your intention is for the upcoming year. So if you feel like it, take a screenshot of this episode right now and share it with me on Instagram. Let me know what your intention is for the upcoming year. All right, last life lesson I'm taking with me from 2023. Serve, serve, serve. Use your gifts and skills in the service of others. It will create opportunities you never thought of. It will give your life more meaning and help you make memories for a lifetime. I am genuinely grateful for this past year. It's been such a pivotal year for me, going on from almost 2 decades of climbing the corporate ladder to launching my own business, being my own boss, and living the life of an entrepreneur. I am grateful for all the trust and support that I've had, and I'm so grateful for the opportunities it has created for me. I can honestly say, in everything I do, my goal is to help make a positive impact, and I constantly reconnect with that purpose because it's what inspires me every day. I keep going because I want to keep serving. I want to keep learning and growing, and I'm just grateful that you give me the opportunity to serve you here, and you serve me as well by being present and listening to this podcast. So I hope that this episode was useful. I hope that you take something away from it. I hope you add on to it your own lessons learned. I wish you all the best for the year ahead. I cannot wait to experience 2024 together and share more lessons throughout the upcoming years. If you have been a listener of Leaders on Purpose podcast this year, it would mean the world to me if you could go and leave us a review on whichever platform you listen on, Spotify, Apple Podcast, or YouTube. Wherever you listen, please go right now and leave us a review. It makes a huge difference to a podcaster, and I also love reading them. From my heart to yours, I wish you the very best for the upcoming year, and I'll see you very soon. Take care.
That is it. Thank you so much for spending your most precious asset with me, which is your time. I am so grateful. If you like what you hear, please take a quick second to hit subscribe, write a review, and share with a friend. Spread the love. If you think it's something they could benefit from, that will make a huge difference to keep this podcast going. I make it my mission to bring you as much valuable content as possible and absolutely incredible guests. I am back every other Sunday. Thank you so much again for listening, and I hope you have an amazing day.